in Vedic astrology, people believe that if we are talking about Venus, so it is related with Ma Lakshmi. If you're talking about Mangal, it is related with Lord Hanuman. And like if you're talking about Jupiter, it is related with Lord Vishnu. How much you believe in that?
Well, I'll just tell you one thing real quick.
Hmm.
Sanskrit doesn't have the word Lord. It's a Christian term. So don't
Christian
use it.
term, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the forbidden English words. That's because Christianity corrupted English. And
Hmm.
when Sanskrit is translated incorrectly, it's translated into corrupt English. And this is one of the big issues we're in right now. Why? Because there's 52 letters in Sanskrit alphabet, right? And thousands of grammatical rules. Why? So we can be more precise, so that we can speak things with more precision. Now, why is that? Because we have many, 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 many lifetimes. Well, who's running the show then? And this is back to answer your question. I thought you'd never ask, but you did. So there's 3 departments: the creative department, the maintaining department, and the destruction department. And so there are 3 department heads. Destructive department, Shiva, Durga. Creative department, Brahma, Saraswati. Maintaining department, Vishnu, Lakshmi. In other words, a Vedic viewpoint is that the entire universe is an organization. And it has department heads, and our chart shows where we are on a scale of 1 to 1,000 in capabilities in all those departments. Why? Because we have as many lifetimes as we want to stay within matter. Or we will have to stay in matter if we don't do something to get out. Getting out is called mukti. Taking this again, rebirth, samsara. So the Vedic viewpoint is the only big viewpoint on our planet.
All right.
The rest are
So
mind.
I just, because you mentioned rebirth, so I also want to talk about it. But before this, let me understand that can astrology coexist with the psychology or neuroscience and modern science?
The question is, can they exist with astrology? Because they just stole parts of astrology and made a name for themselves and called themselves a subject. All of that came from astrology and from Ayurveda. And they stole it and didn't even say thank you. They just took it during the colonial era when the countries of Europe went to India, to Bharat, I like to say, and stole as much as they could. And then did they give them credit? No, they didn't want to give them credit. They gave Jesus credit for Vedic Vidya. But what they did not do is say that Christians can have many lifetimes because they don't have much knowledge. So they act now, only right now, do it right now. That's Christian way. Vedic way is to say, when you're ready, you have as many lifetimes as you want. You can't die. You're an Atma. Aham Brahmasmi. You're from Brahman. And we have in the Vedic culture through Sanskrit an explanation of things that are not experienceable here within matter except by hearing about them, which is the job of the guru. So this entire scale of reality, of seeing this way and having the big picture, that's called a Mahatma. The word got ruined when Gandhi used it because he wasn't a Mahatma. He was just a political figure with some knowledge, but he was not really a guru in the larger sense of the word. But that's a good example of the colonial era where he got called a Mahatma. Spoiled the word. A real Mahatma is someone who has the big, big, big picture. And they're no longer bound within Prakriti, within matter. And this is the Vedic view that's just now getting ready to blossom. And this show that you're doing this is a great example. Because you're leading.
And yeah. So is that the reason that many Western people are coming towards Hinduism, or they are following Vedic astrology or Vedas?
Well, it kind of depends on their chart. It depends on their previous life. It
Hmm.
depends on their Jupiter.
Hmm.
Now, this is where, great question, because now we go, well, I don't know, let's take a look at their chart. How's their Mercury, Buddhi? How's their Jupiter, Guru,
Hmm.
Aspati? And let's see what they're like, what they're capable of. And what houses is it in? What do you mean? What departments of life have they brought in them at a higher level of accomplishment? Well, how could they do that if they only have one life? You're right, they can't. So this is the point. Right now, in the world we live in, people that you run into either do or do not have a big view. If they don't know they have hundreds and thousands of lifetimes in which to figure this out, then they're Duratma, little tiny mind. They only see one life. They see a little bigger. It's getting bigger. And this, welcome to the Vedic culture, where the guru is trying to open your view to the big view.
All right. Just because there are other practices also that people do. There is another subject called numerology, tarot card reading. How much do you believe in that? Palmistry, where people read their hands. So how much do you believe in this?
Well, I've done all of it. In my journey, before I got to Jyotish, I did all of that. I actually spent 4 years of my 20s working in a metaphysical bookstore that had books from every esoteric books from every culture in the world. And that's where I started. And I eventually decided that the Vedic culture was the best among all of them. Dedicated my life, went into an ashram and spent 5 years as a brahmachari. So this culture, I know for sure, and I can prove it, is the most important and immense fund of knowledge on our planet, with the most perfect language on our planet, Sanskrit. It's debatable, and if anyone wants to debate, I'm up. Let's do it. And you'll go home with your tail between your legs because you'll say Latin is as big as Sanskrit. Nope. How about Greek? Nope. How about Russian? Nope. English? Nope. Keep going. And nope. Just generally, nope. So now what? Well, it depends on how serious you are about knowing what you don't know. But to do that, you need word, and you need language, and you need, and so welcome to yoga. Jnana yoga. You know what it is. Jnana, and it's a little tilde over the end, so it's pronounced jnana yoga. Jnana, jnana, jnana. Because this is what Bharat has. Jnana yoga, everything is analyzed. Before there was so-called science, before any of these things came along, they stole what they have mostly from Bharat, from India. Then they developed it separately at universities. They haven't yet apologized and said where they got it from. But that's what I'm doing. One of the things I'm doing is pointing out that the world's knowledge came from Bharat. It didn't come from these other places. It went through them by a degradation of the language.
All right. I remember that you started with that Sanskrit verse. Since I'm going to talk about rebirth, I just want you to just chant one mantra or one verse from Bhagavad Gita once again. Anyone which is favorite of yours?
That's an unspoken word that nobody else knows. Because God isn't Bhagavan. It's not a synonym. Lord doesn't mean anything. Actually, it's Heflard. But it's really just a sloppy English word. So Bhagavan is the term. And Bhaga, there are 6 Bhagas: beauty, wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, and detachment. Now, raise your hand if you'd like to have an unlimited supply of those. Unlimited supply of beauty, unlimited supply.
I think everyone would do.
So these are those 6 bhagas, and the name of the supreme person in the Vedic knowledge, in the Vedas, is Sri Bhagavan. Van means one who possesses. And Bhaga is the 6 qualities: beauty, wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, detachment. To an unlimited degree is Van. So one who possesses an unlimited amount of those is the supreme being. That is the best definition of supreme being on our planet. There's none better.